Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Weddings Unscripted.
Hey.
We have a fun topic that again was one of those that we have had people ask about a ton in the Facebook community and wedding business bosses. And people have asked us for trainings on this in the past, and people are just fascinated by styled shoots and whether it's something you have to be utilizing in your business. And Ginny and I kind of come at this from two different angles because Ginny has, her past in the world of blogging and in wedding blogs, and comes at this from more of the branding and marketing side of this. And then I sort of have my thoughts on it from being an actual wedding planner and whether style shoots are something you should be doing or not, or they're a giant waste of time. So I guess I'll start.
Impact your business.
Exactly. And I feel like, so I guess the first thing to start with is it depends on the intention with a styled shoot, because I see a lot of people that just, and I think they got really popular for a while in the blogging world and blogs were picking them up. And for a lot of people that felt like, oh, I wanted to say that I was featured on Style Me Pretty or Wedding Chicks or whatever, and they didn't think they would get a wedding client that could get them there. It was like, well, let's do a styled shoot. Maybe that'll get picked up. And so people were just doing styled shoots like left and right. And I was watching vendor friends that would literally do a styled shoot like every 3 months. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of styled shoots.
A lot of components to that.
Exactly. There's a lot of time that goes into them. That's
and money.
A lot of money that goes into them. You have all these different moving parts. And a lot of times you're not guaranteed anything's going to happen with them. So you could be putting all this effort in for nothing. So that's where I think the intention is huge. You really need to understand what is the point of this? Like, why are we, if we're going to do a styled shoot, why are we doing this?
Right.
What is this? What is going to be the actual ROI that we are going to get out of this? Do we know that we're going to get ROI at the end of it?
And who's going to manage it all?
Yes. So, I mean, for me personally, I never did style shoots. I kind of participated sort of in a couple, but I really never had any that I led that were all about me or anything like that. Like I kind of would participate through conferences and workshops that I attended, stuff like that. But I never actually put together a full style shoot because I didn't feel like I needed one, partially because they kind of came about at a point in my business when I already had a big portfolio. So I didn't really feel like that was necessary. And I didn't really see the draw of like maybe it getting picked up by a blog. So for me personally, I just never did one. However, I think they're really great for people who don't have the type of images for their website that they're seeking, especially from the branding side of this. I think if you need images that correlate with your brand, that correlate with the style of wedding you want to do, to utilize on all of your social media platforms and everything else, a styled shoot is a great option. Like that's a great way to get those things in place for your business that you can use for your marketing efforts. And I think a bonus is if you can get it picked up by a blog or a magazine, awesome. But that's kind of my personal take on it. I don't know if yours is different, Ginny, but I've sort of always been like a little leery of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also how they're really perceived and how you're putting them out there. So first of all, from a branding perspective, I feel like a styled shoot and a styled brand shoot is two different things.
That's a good point, yeah.
So I feel like, yes, if we're working to build a brand together, then having a styled brand shoot that really goes with the theme and the colors of your website and really the true work you have that you want to portray, absolutely. And like Kristin said, if it gets picked up, if you want to put it out there like that, then that's great. But I feel like just styled shoots in general, you don't have to be doing them, but they are a great thing for newer people that haven't got exposure yet. But here's the key is don't ever represent a styled shoot as a real wedding.
Yes, that's a really good point.
And being very clear in your messaging that all of this stuff and this decor that you had all your vendor friends like pull together where they were donating their time or you guys were pulling money together, that's maybe not realistic for your everyday bride to be able to have all of those resources to go out and hire all of those vendors that you had in place.
And not to mention, it doesn't translate to the same level of work as a wedding itself. Like
Right.
Whether planning one as a wedding planner or doing the flowers for one table in a field where you have 100% control over the time. Same with photographer, like the photographer's 3 hours to shoot this one table. Like it's not being able to do a style shoot is not the same as a wedding.
I feel like style shoots work best when you're not doing, I got to say this right. I want to say, you're not doing it with an agenda or a purpose in mind, but like you're just doing it creatively.
Right. You're not trying to dupe people into thinking, oh, this is work that I've done or a wedding that I've done or.
Right. But I definitely think you should make space in your business in order to just create from a very inspirational place. So that way you can have things and options to show your clients. And that's a really great, that's a really great way to use a styled shoot in your business, is to show the variety of your creativity and your process and what you really bring to the table, and not so much as just doing it to build the portfolio and things like that.
I agree. I think that's a good way of putting it, because I feel like everyone's always jumping on that train. Like, oh, I got to do style shoots and all the style shoots. And it's like, no, just, you have to do it with intention. Like you said, come at it from a place of creative inspiration and utilize it to show off your creativity and what you're capable of. But don't do it with an agenda where you're trying to dupe people into thinking this is like,
and alleviate that pressure. That's what I wanted to say a minute ago, is don't feel you have to do one every quarter. Like if a great thing pops in your head and you feel inspired to do it, then run with that, set that up. But don't sit here and feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to get a style shoot in every single quarter, when it's just, if it's not feeling natural to you, don't do them. And if it's just not your thing, like it wasn't ever really Kristin's thing, then, you know, be authentic to your brand. Just because other wedding businesses are doing style shoots left and right, I know it's easy to be like, oh, everybody else is involved and I'm kind of over here.
I have to be doing this.
There's other ways you can still be collaborative with your vendor friends and vendor partners. It doesn't have to be a style shoot. So it should be something that feels very organic and natural to you. And you should definitely be open and honest when you're representing it on your brand and with your clients, if it's a styled shoot or if it's a real wedding.
Yep, exactly. And then again, like you want to make sure you do have a plan for what the ROI is for it, so that you're not wasting your time or all these other vendors' times when nothing ever becomes of this. Like, make sure that it's clear. A lot of blogs and publications will pick them up in advance just by a pitch. If it's something truly original, that has happened before, but keep in mind, it's probably going to be truly original, not something they've already done on their blog or magazine before. Or if you're purposely, you know, whether it's through your own marketing or your own branding, you want to showcase something very specific as far as a certain style or your creativity or something of that nature. And that's going to be what you're going to get out of the style shoot. But don't just do style shoots for the sake of style shoots, because they're hard. And I think it's important to note too, that if you do decide to do one and it's your idea, you have to be prepared to go all in on it and to do the bulk of the work. Because I often see this with someone has the idea, but then they expect everybody to donate their time and materials and all this stuff. When if you're the one that's mostly going to benefit from it, it's your responsibility to pay people for it, to do all of the organization. Because that was the thing too. I think I would have people come out and reach out to me and be about a style shoot. And I'd be like, okay, well, what's the purpose of it? And I'd find out it was essentially to market them. And then it was like, they're asking me to donate all my time and this, that, and the other, like under the guise of like, you know, oh, but it's for exposure. And I'm like, I don't need exposure. Like,
I need money.
I need money. Exactly. Like I have, you know, a wide range of vendors that I already network with. I have clients. Like, I don't need to be spending time on something that's not going to benefit me, all in the name of, well, it's a style shoot and let's all collaborate. And it's like, well, no. So I think you have to be prepared to, if this is your idea. And even if everyone will get featured, if you're the one putting your stamp on it for the most part, it's like, I came up with this and this is my idea and my creativity, be prepared to be the one to foot the bill. Because I've seen that happen too, where I would have floral friends where some planner would have an idea And then the florist would come on board, they'd be like, oh, I just need you to do flowers. But the next thing I know, the florist is doing the entire design. The planner just like threw a Pinterest board together and was like, here. And then the florist was expected
to create the royal wedding back.
Yeah. Create a new version of the royal wedding.
Yeah.
And so the next thing you know, the floral designer's doing all of the design and all of the work and all the heavy lifting and sourcing all the unique pieces and all these things. And the planner's like, yeah, that was my idea. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, you had the initial idea, but
very clear on any and all collaboration.
Yeah. Whose responsibility is what? Yes.
Yeah.
Whose work was whose?
Yeah. Have a contract for a styled shoot.
Contract. Oh yes. Many of our lawyer friends can certainly help you with that. Many of them have templates for styled shoots. I believe Annette the Banyan has one. She works with a lot of our people. And make sure it's clear, because I think they get very wishy-washy very quickly as to who's in charge, whose idea it was, who's the actual creative brains behind it, whose responsibility it is, and make sure that you have intention behind it, that you know why you were doing this, you're clear why you were doing this, and there's going to be, and I understand we should do a whole episode on ROI sometime and just like what that word means.
Yeah.
And there's not always going to be a very clear line drawn financially in your ROI, but you should still know that the time involved and the money you're going to put into this is going to help you get business in the future in a very somewhat concrete way.
Right.
So any other thoughts you have, Ginny?
No, I mean, coming from the wedding blogging world.
I have a question for you. Did you like styled shoots better, or did you like getting real wedding submissions?
Real weddings, hands down. Yeah. That's a good point. I just think, like, not that I don't love the creative. Now, a brand styled shoot, I eat up all day.
Well, as a brand strategist, that's like your cup of tea. You're like, oh, I love these.
I'm like, oh, all of these photos match. This is great.
We can put them perfectly into a website.
But I love, real love. And I think blogs just turned to, when styled shoots got really popular, we stopped seeing real love stories.
Yes.
And we started to seeing an over flooding of styled shoots. Which is why you're putting so much energy into them and they're not getting picked up as often, because everybody's kind of done and seen you've got to have a truly original idea. One of our academy students, Sammy had she did a Game of Thrones styled shoot that was out of this world, but she had wolves.
She had like, I don't know, were they wolves or were they like just dogs that looked like wolves?
I think they were dogs that looked like wolves, but for the sake of it,
they looked like wolves.
Yeah, they looked like wolves.
They had like a castle.
She had like borderline Jon Snow there.
Yeah.
And it went viral. I mean, it was picked up on all the top wedding blogs. And that was a truly unique idea that she spearheaded, that she executed, and it was done perfectly to the T.
Yeah.
So really that's like an example of, if you're going to really do something, kind of really think it out. And she had no idea it was going to go viral. She was like flipping out when that happened.
She just loved Game of Thrones, and so did the other vendors. So
right. Exactly. But I just feel like, a lot of blogs are just inundated with the same stuff, and it's not like, look at this styled shoot. I would much rather look at real love stories now. I mean, I at least preferred writing about real love stories as well.
Styled shoot. No, I think that's the key thing at the end of the day. It's got to be unique and something that people haven't seen before if you're going to put your creative stamp on it. So, I felt like I feel like after that Game of Thrones one went viral, like there was a crop of other ones that came up right after that. Cause that always happens. It's like one person does it and then like everybody puts their spin on it.
That's a great idea.
I'm going to do a Game of Thrones shoot now. But that's not original and it's not serving anybody. So, try to come up with a truly unique idea. I remember back in my earlier planning days, like the Mad Hatter Tea Party was like a styled shoot theme for like straight year. Like I saw one and then I saw like a gazillion more and I was like, okay, can we put to rest the whole like Mad Hatter Tea Party styled shoot thing?
Right. Yeah.
It's been done, people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I doubt you can come up with any other creative way to do it at this point. So make sure your idea is original and make sure you understand the responsibilities attached to doing a style shoot and the time involved and that you're going about it the right way and that there's truly a point to the reason that you're doing it for your business. That's our thoughts on styled shoots, everyone.
So we would love to hear from you.
Let us know if you've done one.
Yay or nay.
If you've had a good experience or a not so good experience. We'd love to hear.
So let us know. So make sure, if you are new to us, join our Facebook group at Wedding Business Bosses. Make sure you check us out online, weddingbusinessbosses.com. And we'll see you next week for a new episode of Wedding Unscripted.
All right. Bye, everyone.